All right, with no further ado then, let's get after the guy that we think the Patriots are most likely to wind up with at number 3. It's University of North Carolina quarterback Drake Maye. And Phil, Drake Maye, big, 6'3", 6'4", fits that prototypical mold. What do you think, Brian, about his general overall build?
Yeah, I think there's going to be obviously comparisons to big athletic guys like a Josh Allen. Big, tall, strong, can run, athletic, big arm. And so having watched him a little bit to prepare for this, you see some comparisons to that.
All right, here's the first throw. Phil, take us through this.
Yeah, man, he just has been so effective with the deep ball, Brian. So these throws that go over 20 yards in the air, he's been arguably the best in the country the last 2 years. And so you're seeing him float it right down the sideline there. Is there anything that stands out to you in terms of the footwork, Brian, before, we don't want to start critiquing these guys right off the top, but that has been the big critique when it comes to this guy's game is, boy, you got to clean up that footwork. Is that a huge issue for you going from the college level to the pro level? Is that something that can be fixed if he comes to the Patriots?
I actually think that's the easiest thing to be fixed. I know coming in, I learned so much from, watching Tom and his footwork, obviously Coach O'Brien, Bill O'Brien, his coaching. The footwork to me would be the least of the concern. If we want to rewind this back to the beginning and pause it right there, the first thing that stands out to me is his recognition of coverage. We call this blitz zero. There's 5 DBs lined up across. It's an empty formation. There's only 5 linemen to block. They're blitzing 6 guys. So to me, what's even more impressive than this throw, which it's not hard to tell, but he sees the blitz and he knows exactly where the weak point in the protection is. He knows a guy's going to come free from the left. He knows what matchups he has. This is man coverage. And so he you talk about footwork, I actually think this is good footwork. He drifts a little bit to the right where the protection's a little more firm. Lofts a great pass. We call this an inside slot fade, right over the guy's shoulder. I mean, you couldn't really ask for a better play from the quarterback right here.
This is a throw him open play, Brian. You like this one. You commented on it. It's against Miami.
Hard to tell, but it definitely looks like it's a middle field open shell. And so he knows that, and he takes 1, 2, 3 hitches and throws this guy into what we call a bender. He's bending him in to try to get him on the hash, which, the hash is a little wider in college. The NFL, it's going to narrow down. These safeties are going to be able to jump on that. But, that's not Drake's fault. He's taken a great drop with a guy in his face and throwing a guy on a seam bender, right for a touchdown, which, like you said, you don't want to see a guy throw a bunch of bubble screens. And these are the types of throws you want to be able to see. A guy that you potentially take 3rd overall, you want to be able to see him make these throws.
On the move to your left, Brian, how difficult is that as a right-handed quarterback, and what is this particular play telling you about his athleticism?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I think, especially quarterbacks this day and age, they do a lot of getting coached of being how to throw on the run. And I think, I don't know Alex Van Pelt personally, but just knowing his history, West Coast guy, you're going to ask the quarterback to do a lot of boots, and having played for Kyle Shanahan and done a lot of these throws, it's something that you want your quarterback to be comfortable with, because if you only do it when you boot right, they kind of sniff that out. And a lot of times some of the best plays I ever had in that system was booting out back to my left. And a lot of times, this is a tough throw, but that opens up a lot of easy throws. So to be able to do this is obviously a plus.
I'm going to go simply a high comp, and that's going to be a faster, less powerful armed, smidgen smaller Drew Bledsoe.
So for me, I said, he's not going to run as well as Josh Allen, and he's not as big and as strong, but there's definitely some comparisons, and if he has time to develop, I think that would be best case scenario.
I would go high comp. I'll go Justin Herbert. He's not as tall as Herbert, but I think his arm's a little less than Allen. He's not quite as fast as Allen. I think that maybe puts him in a little bit closer ballpark to Herbert.
Brought to you in part by John's Sewer and Drain Cleaning, the name to know when the drains don't flow.